Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this program. My name is Wafula. I am a comedian. There are other things that I do, but specifically I do comedy. But apart from comedy, I also lament on issues, different issues that affect our society. Number of them as they come, I do comment on them in a friendly way, in a friendly manner that I mean, I do have a say. eh? I do speak about these issues, but within the law. I don't offend anyone. I just comment. I just speak my mind on various issues. Yeah. So I just want to invite you to watch this program wherever you are in Kenya and in the rest of the world. As you watch this program, please internalize and let this program has a positive impact in your life. Welcome to the program. But today, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to talk about comedy. Today, I'm going to talk about something else, something different from comedy, different from what we know mm, normally make us laugh. But if you feel like laughing, then proceed and just proceed to laugh. If you feel like crying, then you can cry. But today specifically, I want to comment on a special subject. Now, my subject today is disability. Disability. When you talk of disability, what comes in your mind when you pronounce the term disability? What comes in your mind? From I just want to go very fast for us to understand. But from as I was saying, disability is a broader term. But like, what's disability? What does it mean when you talk of disability? From the simplest definition ever, disability is any continuing condition that restricts everyday activity. This is the continuing uh, condition. It is a condition that restricts everyday activity. Mhm. If your daily activities are restricted, if you are unable to perform or to do everyday activities, then you might say that's disability. So, disability, if you go into perspective, disability revolves around, or there are a number of categories for different types of disability. We have intellectual, intellectual disability, we have psychiatric, we have cognitive, neurological, we have sensory or physical impairment, or sometimes the combination of both. Yeah. So disability can affect your intellectual, your psychology, your neural system. It can affect the sensory system, or rather, it can affect the physical appearance. Physical appearance. So, ladies and gentlemen, in the society today, I don't know whether you have come across any kind of disability. I know whether you have come across any person who is disabled. I don't know whether you have stayed or you have met a disabled person before. For instance, we have disabled who have vision problems. We call them vision impaired. Those who cannot see. Then we have deaf or hard of hearing. They can't talk, then they can't hear. They can't talk, then they can't hear. Then we have mental health condition. Most of the time tunaweza kusema ni wale ambao wana akili tahira. These are also, it's also a category of disability. Intellectual disability, then acquired brain injury. Then there is what we call physical disability. Physical disability, of course, you can see it. You can see it. Unaweza kuona, huyu mtu ni mlemavu. Something, it is the kind of disability that you can see it. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know whether you have met these people in the society today. I don't know whether you have come across these kind of people. Najua umekutana nao njiani. You have met them on the road. I know you have assisted the visual impaired person to cross the road. There are others on the street. These are physical challenge or physical disabled. There are those who beg everywhere. There are those with the cerebral, we call it neuro or cerebral affected. They were affected cerebral. We call it cerebral palsy. It's also a kind of disability. They are there in the society, and in the society today, there is high level of disability. There are so many disabled outside there. There are so many disabled outside there. There are so many. I don't know whether we have come across them, but one thing I know: disabled people most of the time are looked down on in the society. These are the people who are inferior. They are regarded as inferior. They are regarded as weak people in the society. They are regarded as people with no value in the society. They are regarded as useless people. Sometimes, when you talk of disability to some people in our society, they regard disability as a curse. They call these people as outcasts. There are some, even if they bear children who are disabled, they end up even killing them. They are disabled who have been locked in their house. They cannot, interact with others. They cannot go out. They cannot go to church. They can not go to the mosque. They can't go anywhere because they have been locked. Because their parents and their people feel like when these people goes out, they are going to expose them. They feel like it is a shame. The society, when you associate with any kind of person who is disabled, the society tends to discriminate you. The society does not value you. There are so many narratives around that revolves around disability. There are so many narratives around. Long time ago, I used to imagine mm, that disabled, maybe they're different people, from the normal people, who are not disabled. I used to think that these are the people from different planets. mm. I used to think that these are the people who have no value. These are the people who does not mean anything in the society. Yeah, I used to hear stories that I don't know whether they were true stories, that Amini, the former president of the Republic of Uganda, used to collect. I mean, he used to gather together disables, and at time he drew them. mm, At time he threw them. He threw them into the ocean. See? So there were stories that Idi Amin Dada used to gather disables eh, and dispose them into the ocean. I don't know whether those stories were true, but let me give you a story. Long time ago, not so long, in the year 1999. Personally, I was born in the year 21st, in the year 1990, month of September, date of 21st. Then 8, 7 to 8 years, that is the year 1999. I was in I was in class 2 at that time. I went to school very late. In fact, I went to school. I joined school when I was very old. So 1999, there was a certain condition. There was a certain condition that I was diagnosed with after one of my right hand started swelling. Right? I was playing football at school. So during break, I mean during halftime, during halftime. So at that time, just few minutes after going for halftime, I started feeling itching. I mean, huku kwa visigino on my right hand leg. So after 30 minutes, there was like my leg started swelling. I'm telling you, after 1 hour, my leg had swollen. That was 99. So from there, I was um, taken to the dispensary. They did some checkup and first aid. Then from there, I went home. Even my mama didn't believe, because she was like, I was framing an excuse not to go to school. She was like, huyu mtoto hataki kuendelea na masomo, huyu mtoto hataki kusoma. So when I arrived at home, alinichapa makofi, wewe hutaki kusoma, things like that. But later she realized that my leg had swollen. So I finished around 2 to 3 days. Then I was taken to one of the hospitals in Trans County. So there was, I don't know how to put it, but the doctor mm, recommended that I should be put on plaster. So they plastered my leg. Then from there, the condition was not that good. My condition was not that good. Then from there, I came back home. I finished around 10 days at home, but there was no any improvement. So from there, I was taken back to the hospital. Then it was like it had affected, the problem had affected even the other leg. Mm. It affected the entire system. I had no blood, no water in the system. I was in a critical condition, so I was taken to the ICU. At the ICU, it was a very bad situation, a very bad situation. Even akili zangu zilipotea. It was disaster in the ICU, or rather at the ICU. So I was put on blood and water at the same time. I thank God one of my grandmother was working there as a nurse. I appreciate her a lot. She really assisted me at that time. And my mama also was very close to me. She really worked hard. Even after every minute, she used to pray to God to assist. I mean, God to intervene in the situation. So I finished around a number of days in the ICU. Then, even while in the ICU, even it was bad to an extent that even some of the people, some of my family members were thinking like, I'm going to die. Some of them even started preparing where mourners will sit. They started preparing the venue. They started preparing, bringing down bushes to ensure that when I die, people will have enough space, I mean, to sit. You see, they started arranging even the people who will carry my body, people will carry my remains to the village. Yeah. But one thing I know, whenever you trust in God, whenever any moment you have your trust in God, you will never fail. You will never fail at all. So from there, I instead of dying, I survived from death. Yeah. So number of months I was on the bed. 99. It was September 1999. September, October, November, December. Up to December, I was still in the hospital. Then 2000, my condition started now changing. But it really affected me. It really affected me. Number of operations, minor and major, were done on me. There is one major operation on my left leg, and number of minor operation on my right leg. Because of that, my mama was like, oh, my son, what happened? She didn't accept the condition. She didn't accept that I am in that condition at that time. So she was even feeling pity for me. She sympathized with me. Even during we call it the physiotherapy. We call it physiotherapeutic exercises. She used to feel like, my son, anaogopa, hataki madaktari wanifanyie hayo mazoezi. Sometimes she was supposed to take me to check up, but anaogopa. And again, it was so expensive. It was so expensive. Okay, later the doctors did their test. Yeah, they did their test. They were saying they suspected it to be osteomyelitis. Osteomyelitis, it is a condition that normally affects the bone. Osteo means the bone. Yeah. So they say that it was a condition that normally affect the bones, but they were not sure. So they actually prescribed some medicine, called them lingomycin for me. During that time, lingomycin was very expensive. It was very expensive. And according to our background, my background, at that time, we were not even able to raise funds to pay for the medicine. It was so expensive. Yeah, I only managed only half of the dose, half of the dose once. So from there, 2000, here came a news. Before 2000, I reached a point whereby I was unable even to move. Even just sitting down like this on my own, it was very difficult. Yeah, I was unable to walk completely. It's like my skeleton ilishikana. Ilishikana tena. I was not even able to stretch my legs. I was not even able to stretch my hand. I was not even able to turn my neck. The condition was so pathetic. Yeah. So the doctors did some tests, and they told my mama that, mama, we are so sorry, but according to what we can see, it seems your son will never walk again. Yeah. I want to appreciate my brother. Matu, who was there with me. He used to take care of me. Yeah. He used to assist me here and there, and also my mama. These are the two people, and my elder sister, Evelyn. She was also so supportive to that. Yeah. So the doctor said just once, you know what, Emmanuel? Now you are disabled. Emmanuel, you will never walk again. Emmanuel, from now henceforth, you will use a wheelchair. So when I recall from 99 July back, or rather August back, I was okay. I used to play football. I used to swim. I used to run. Yeah. The races. Nilikuwa na mkimbiaji maarufu. I used to participate in sports. I was very active, very strong. But here, I'm being told that I am completely disabled and I will never, never walk again. I will never stand again. This was the sad news that I have never had in my life. It was the news that really shocked me. The news, it was a complicated news. Yeah. I didn't welcome that idea that I have become a disabled. I was not happy with that idea. I was not happy with the doctor's opinion. You see, I was, that idea, that news that I have become a disabled, it really troubled me. So I started that life of disability. I started that life disability. I was discharged from the hospital, was taken to home. At home, I used to be carried from one destination to another destination. Mm. If it is shower, nitabebwa vizuri nipelekwe nje, nioshwe, and nibebwe vizuri tena nirudishwe ndani. I was unable even to assist myself. Yeah. So from there, life was very, very difficult because I didn't accept that condition at that moment. Ulcers, it's like I had opened the door for ulcers. Stress came in. Yeah. I was so desperate. I was like, what is the meaning of living again? I was even about to end my life. I had decided to end my life. Because what was the meaning of life? I was normal. Then within number of months, I'm disabled. From where? So I was like, there is no need of living again. Yeah. So one thing that came in my mind, that kept me moving, although I had not accepted that condition, is that God was with me. Sometimes when you read the holy books, yeah, God assures his people that I am with you in whatever condition. God assures us that he will never leave us and he will never put us in a situation that we cannot bear, in a situation that we cannot handle. So that is what that kept me moving. I was encouraged that although I'm going through this, but I know God will lift me up one day. Yeah. So in that process of crawling, I used to crawl all my legs flat on the floor. I used to crawl like that. I used to crawl like that. In the toilet, I used to crawl everywhere. I used to crawl. But let me tell you, in that process of faith, one day I was outside. I had been taken outside by my mama, and she had gone to fetch firewood. Then the rain, as the strong rain came from nowhere. This very strong rain came from nowhere. Now, what happened? I was unable to assist myself. How could I get into the house? I cannot move. I cannot do what? Yeah. But let me tell you what happened. Let me tell you what happened. A very strong thunder. It struck. And at that time, I was like something has injected me. I was like jumping up. Then at that moment, at that time, I started crawling. Just mysteriously, miraculously, I started crawling. Very fast, the house. So that was my beginning. That was my start of movement. I used to move from one point to another. There was a time they brought, my parents brought me crutches that can assist me to stand. I was unable even to stretch my back because it had affected even my back. So I struggled with the crutches. Then within a number of months, I was able to stand a little bit. I started walking with the crutches. But now another thing came in. Another thing came in. I was so frightened. I was so surprised to see that whenever I walk around the street, yeah, whenever I decided to meet my friends, they were like, wow, What happened? Why are you like this? What is this? You are disabled. Hmm? They started running away from me. They started separating themselves from me. Everybody walk away from me. Even my friends, they walk away from me. Yeah. They started looking at me as different person, as a new creature from, I don't know, from Mars or Jupiter. Hmm? They started looking down upon me. They started laughing at me. Hmm? Some of them will say, angalia huyo kiwete, angalia kiwete, angalia kiwete, kiwete ndio huyo, kiwete ndio huyo, and so on and so forth. Hata watu wazima, hmm? Kiwete ndio huyo, kiwete ndio huyo. Let me tell you, that is the time now I was affected. Psychologically, I was affected. It really traumatized me. Yeah. I felt like there is no value to live. Yeah. Because everywhere, yeah, nikipita huku wanachekelea, wanatukana, nikipita huku. And that is the time ulcers was like eating me. Yeah. The ulcers was eating me. I felt like the whole world could crack, alafu niingie ndani inimeze, but it didn't happen. It didn't happen completely. It didn't happen. So I had to look for a new way to survive. Yeah. As I was saying, that thing, discrimination, kuchekwa, kutaliwa, niteseka sana kama mlemavu. I really went through difficult situation. But from there, I had even refused completely to go back to school. I refused completely. I said now, even my people, some of my people said there's no need of me going back to school. They say that they have never seen disabled going to school. They had even prepared, I mean, they had said that I should go and start repairing shoes. You see, because that is the work for disabled. Disabled are not worth it to go to school. Yeah. So I had given up. I had lost my hope to proceed to continue with my studies. Yeah. But it reached a point when I was young. Sometimes I used to say, when I grow up, I want to be a doctor. So one day, while I was meditating, that idea came back to me. So I said, oh, I wanted to be a doctor when I grow up. So how am I going to be a doctor? Yet I have refused to go back to school. Yeah. And again, in that condition that I was in, the school was far away from my home. How will I do? How will I go about it? Yeah. So again, I was like, there's no need. It reached a point, even my brother Martin, he really disciplined me. Yeah. He gave me a number of strokes because I had refused to go back to school. He had engaged one of the management of the former, the Kiminini, St. Vincent Kiminini Primary School, because they have a special unit for disabled. So he had organized there. But I was like, how am I going? I'm going to a disabled school. Am I disabled? I had not accepted that I have become disabled. So I was like, who is going to a disabled school? Am I disabled? I'm not going to disabled schools at all. I was like, I will not go. So he ended up beating me up. Then he left. So after 1 month, my consciousness was reawakened, and I decided to go to that school. So I was to that school. I mean, I was to that school in the year 1999. I was in class 2. I went to that school. I jumped around one class, so I went to class 4. So I started there from class 4. I proceeded all the way to class 8. But while there, I saw different people. I saw different disabled. There are those who don't have hands. There are those who cannot see. There are those who cannot walk. There are those who had lost both of their limbs. There are those who are unable even to write. Yeah, I remember one of my friend, Nas Mackenzie. Yeah, he was unable to write using the hand because the hands were functional completely. So he used to write using his leg. Feeding was a problem. I met different disabled students. So I was like, wow, you see, I am not disabled. So because of that interaction and exchanging ideas with time, you see, that idea of disability started sinking in me. Yeah. Although I had not accepted completely. So I was there. I started adapting the environment. I used to assist them to push their wheelchairs. I used to assist some of them to eat, and so on and so forth. Then I completed class 8. Then from there, I joined one of the schools in Mombasa. That is Mombasa Secondary School for the physically handicapped. So at least the idea, I had already received that idea of disability, so it was not so shocking that I was joining a disabled school. So Mombasa Secondary School was a mixed also with special and disability, with special students and also the normal student. So after joining that school again in the year 2008, I met number of disability. Yeah, I met number of disabled I had never seen in my life. I was like, wow, I thank God. Yeah, I'm not that so bad. At least I can walk, I can run, I can do anything I used to do. I can swim, I can ride a bicycle. Mm, Number of things. The only thing I cannot do is to run very fast, but the rest of the things I can do all of them. I can do all of them. So I was like, because my disability was the physical disability. Yeah, walking, I used to walk. mm, my left limb now, because of that problem, my left limb became shorter than the right limb, and again my legs, miguu yangu iliinuka to some extent. Yeah, so apart from that, I was like, I thank God, but stigma ilikuwa inaendelea outside there. Kupita mtaani, watoto wanacheka watu, whenever you pass, kama watu walikuwa in a group, wote wanatawanyika, wanakupisha, you know. So what I'm saying is like, this thing I have gone through it. Ladies and gentlemen, I have gone through a lot. Have seen all kind of discrimination. I've been discriminated on a number of occasions because of my disability. Yeah, there are some places hata unarudishwa nyuma ama unaambiwa no services just because of my disability. So disabled go through a lot. They go through discrimination. They go through difficult issues. But what I want to tell you today, disabled are common human beings. They are not different Disabled are human being, ni watu wa kawaida. Disabled ni binadamu wa kawaida. Even if I ask you today, yeah, if you are given a choice to choose today, so Kenyans and people in the whole world, let's stop this nonsense. Let's stop discriminating disabled. Disabled are not ghosts. Yeah, disabled are not outcasts. In fact, today disabled are doing wonders. They are disabled parliamentarians who are disabled. They are very senior government officials. They are very senior people in the whole world who are disabled. Disabled today are doing wonders, even more than people who claim to be sober, people who claim to be all right, people who claim to be physical fit. They are doing nothing. Yeah, disabled have become to be very intelligent people. Yeah, people who mean what they say. Yeah, people who do things with passion. So I want to change this narrative. The whole disables, let us support disables. Let us work together with disables. Let us not discriminate the disables. If it is the place of work, let us support these disables. Let us work together with these disables. If it is at school, let them have equal chances. Yeah? If it is any place, buildings, let us construct buildings that favors these disabled, yeah, and so on and so forth. Everywhere, let us create conducive environment for the disabled, because they are doing a lot. Parents who are hiding the disabled, please bring them out, expose them, bring them out. Let these disabled be known. Yeah, if you hide them in the house, no one will realize that the disabled is there. Yeah, and these disabled will die. Yeah, because when some of the parents have refused even to assist them, they are not giving them food, they are not giving them clothes, basic needs, they are not assisting them, as if they want them to die. Can we stop this? Disabled are very important people in the society. Disabled are human beings. There is no one who will choose to be a disabled one day. Hakuna yeyote among these disabled, hakuna yeyote aliyechagua kuwa mlemavu. Hata mimi, I didn't choose to be a disabled. I just woke up and I realized, oh, I'm disabled. I can't walk anymore. I can't do this anymore. So these disabled, if you ask them one by one, no one will confess that he chose to be a disabled. So it is a condition that anyone can be in. Yeah, it is a condition that anyone can be in. So usijione ati you are physically fit, you disregard disabled, yeah, you discriminate them. That is very wrong. That is demonic, and it is punishable. God will punish you one day. Yeah, some of you are strong, you are okay, and you are doing nothing. So disabled, let's support them, let's encourage them, let's bring them out. Parents, let's stop hiding them. And disabled who are hearing me, disabled who are listening to me, stop hii tabia ya kujidharau, kujidhalilisha, hii tabia ya kuombaomba, sijui nisaidie. Sometimes unakuta mlemavu iko sawa tu, amefunga nini hapa, anasema anaomba. Hiyo tabia pia si nzuri. Let us look for something we can do to assist ourselves. Hata kama umeenda pale umeomba 1 month, omba 1 month, look for something to do. Anza kuuza njugu, anza kuuza nini, it will help you. You cannot borrow forever. Remove that mentality of borrowing on the streets everywhere. Oh, Adam, they are destroying the good name of the disability. Mnaharibu disabled who are begging on the roads everywhere, crawling. You are tarnishing our name. You are tarnishing the name of disabled people. Have ideas, do something. You can do, I believe, whichever the type of disability you have, you can do something substantial. You can bring a change in the society. Stop this idea of begging everywhere. And those people who take themselves as normal, let us support disabled, support us to move on. Yeah, support us to move on. Yeah, I just want to wind up by saying, don't think that the situation you are in now, unasema hadi sasa wewe umefaulu maisha, ati umewin maisha, umequalify maisha, ama umeepuka swala la disability. Yeah, you never know. I didn't know that one day I will be a disabled. I was just normal, but I woke up, I didn't know. Yeah, so ile kusema sijui you don't know about tomorrow. You don't know about tomorrow. There are so many issues. There are so many diseases today that can cause disability. Yeah, you can even, unaweza kuwa na cross barabara ukagongwa na gari. There are so many stories. If I give you next, I will share them next time. If I give you these stories about number of people who got disabled and they got themselves into disability because of that, you'll be surprised. Yeah. So there are so many conditions today that can lead to disability, like arthritis, heart diseases, respiratory problems, diabetes, yeah, stroke, cancer, nervous system disorders. All these can lead to disability. And being a disabled, it does not mean that lazima ukuwe na physical sijui nini na nini na nini. Even there are those who are disabled upstairs. Yeah, there are those people who cannot think. To me, I regard those people as disabled. They cannot think. Yeah, they cannot make a wise decision. To me, I think those people are disabled. So let us embrace the disabled. Let us support them. Let us work together. The government, support the disabled. Support them to work very well. As I wind up this program, I want to awake the consciousness of everybody who will watch this video. Let us not look down upon the disabled. Let us support them. Let us guide them. Let us give them opportunities. Let us give them opportunities in different areas. Sometimes wanasema huyu ni mlemavu hawezi kazi, huyu ni mlemavu hatafanya hiki, huyu ni mlemavu hatafanya hiki. Let us give them opportunities. Yeah? Let us support them. Let us be there to support them. Government, through the National Council for Persons with Disability, increase support. Put there people who are capable, people who feel for the disabled. Yeah. In fact, a disabled person should be there on the National Council for Persons with Disability to drive, to do a campaign in the whole country to bring all the disabled students to be registered on the National Council for Persons with Disability, to get grants, to get support, like academically and healthily, and so on and so forth, so that we can grow our nation together. Yeah? So that we can grow our nation together. Anyone, ukikutana na mlemavu leo, usimdharau. Ukikutana na nani, just respect that person. Haujui amepitia wapi, haujui ilikuwa vipi akajipata hapo, haujui wewe kesho utakuwa wapi. Waswahili husema hujafa, hujaumbika. Then wazungu nao wakasema, wazungu nao walimaliza kwa kusema disability is not in your ability. Disability will never be in your ability. Disability is not inability. Disabled are doing wonders. Personally, I'm doing wonders and I'm disabled. I'm doing miracles and I'm a disabled. So stop looking down upon disabled. Disabled can do wonders. Disabled are very important people in this country. So therefore, respect them, support them, love them, care for them, and above all, take care of them. God will bless us all. Thank you for watching this program. As I said earlier, I'm Wafula. More program, part 2 of the same program to come soon. Thank you and God bless you all. Bye.